Welcome to the Base Set Bandits podcast. Here today, we are really excited. We've got a special guest. We have Eli, aka or better known as the Giving Bulbasaur. You've seen his TikTok videos. You're subscribed to his YouTube. So we're excited to have you on. Welcome to the show.
I appreciate it, guys. I really do. It's awesome.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. It's just to give you an idea of what this podcast is like. We kind of have like three goals, and that's sell $1 million in Pokemon cards.
Hey,
collect one of every Pokemon card for ourselves, and interview people like you. We want to tell people stories, and Pokemon's such a fun community to be a part of, and we want to just get to know everybody that we can. And we're grateful that you wanted to join us today, and hopefully we can tell your story a little bit.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. That's actually funny that you want to sell $1 million. I actually want to collect $1 million of graded cards. So I just saw your video on those BGS cards y'all got in. Woo! Jeez, I got some crazy cards in that one.
Oh man, that was a big box.
Really good.
I was just shocked. Well, the hard part about that one was we sent it in, we did like 5-day grading, and then the storms in Texas hit. So, I mean, in BGS is in Texas. So we were supposed to get them back. They were done and graded on the 4th of February. And then it took another like 2-3 weeks because of all the storms to come out to us. So I'm just glad they made it. I was worried that they were lost in the mail. Like I called back like 4 times.
That's my biggest scare when I'm sending cards. It's just like the mail, man. Just like, please don't lose my stuff.
I love it.
I know, right? Can you imagine? I mean, 189 cards sent in. We were sweating a couple bullets there for about a week and a half.
Yeah. No, I'm actually sending some more PSA cards and some more CGC cards. And this next one is going to be a big submission. It's like, let's see, like 40 cards of Express PSA cards. And I'm just like, oh, and I just sent some and it says delivered, but I'm thinking PSA is so backed up that they have it at a location and they haven't went to pick it up from there yet. So it just says waiting for PSA to pick up. So I'm just like,
well, that's even like, what's kind of funny. We have a big order at Beckett that we sent back in October.
Okay.
And we did the 20-day, and we just like thought, oh yeah, 20-day, that makes sense. It was one of our like first orders, not doing like a 5-day or like a really economy. And we haven't heard back about that once other than the first email. So it says, we have your cards, and then we'll see if we ever get those back. So it's pretty wild.
It's been at least 20 days.
Yeah. So I don't, that's one thing. I send the cards and I'm just like, I'm always checking every day. Like, is there an update? Like CGC right now, they have them with the cards I've sent back in like December. It's in receive, but it hasn't moved like from that process. I'm just like, okay, guys, come on. So totally get you. Y'all went the BGS route, which I applaud y'all for that, because I don't send stuff to BGS just because like it was more expensive at the time, but now PSA and them are the same price, so I might start sending a few there. Trying to chase that black label in any card. I don't even care what card I get black label. So
we kind of had a little bit of a loophole that we were exploiting. So you're well aware, the turnaround times right now are just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw BGS prices were $40 per card for no subgrades in a 5-day turnaround time. So we said, let's try it out. We tested it, and the cards came back within like 6 business days. We were shocked.
Nice.
So wait, for $40 per card, as long as the card itself, after being graded, we're able to either associate value more than $40. Well, that makes sense for us now to do, because we can get some capital flipping those cards, in 2 weeks versus waiting a year at PSA bulk economy submission. Yeah, it's cheaper, but
another big piece is if you get a 10, they throw on subgrades for free. So if you're sending in premium cards and you get 10s, like you get subgrades for free at Beckett.
I'm gonna need to have y'all on, because I don't know a lot about BGS. So I would love to have you guys on my podcast to educate me on that. That'd be great.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been fun.
It's super fun.
But hey, we did want to kind of get to know where your name came from. The Giving Bulbasaur. I mean, like, I mean, maybe you have. I assume that's your favorite Pokemon. I assume.
No, it actually isn't. It was my favorite starter. Because everybody was picking, Charmander and Charizard. I'm just like, But if you get into the game, the first gym is going to be the rock gym, and grass type does very well, so does water, but I picked that one and I just kind of ran with it. And then if you guys or anybody watching this looks at my YouTube, I like to do a lot of foundations and giveaways, and not a lot, mostly giveaways to raise money for foundations. And so I used to be a pastor for 6 years. A lot of people don't know that about me. So even though I stepped away from the church a little bit, I always used to love outreach and stuff like that. So if I can still build a platform mainly to have enough people not to watch me, but to watch me do foundational stuff to help other people, that's the end goal for me. So kind of put two and two together and kind of stuck. And it's kind of a marketing thing. People love to be given stuff, so maybe they might stick around to get some stuff given and help me raise money for these foundations. So kind of how that worked out.
I love
Gosh,
that.
yeah, that's pretty cool. That's an awesome story. We just saw base set Bandits and we thought, man, that's catchy. That's our story. That's about it.
That fits.
Like they're gonna get all the base sets. They're going out for all the base sets. They're gonna take all your base sets. That's all that's gonna happen.
But yeah, I'd love to hear and kind of dive deep in. It's cool that that piece of the Pokemon world. I mean, you've kind of seen it with like the Gary from Pawn Stars, Leonhardt, like all the giving that kind of goes along that. I'd love to hear more about how you got started in Pokemon 2. And I mean, you mentioned you were a pastor for a few years. I'd love to hear just like your story, where this comes from, where you come from.
Got you. So I live in Texas, then San Antonio, Texas. So I was born and raised here. Ended up moving down to Corpus for about 6 years to be a pastor. Moved back to San Antonio with my wife. Actually went down there, got married, came back, found a wife. And then actually I've been in sales all my life, everything from door knocking, anything you wanted to buy, I've sold it, like cars, insurance, everything, solar panels. And actually right now I'm actually a realtor. So I sell houses. And so I've always done sales and marketing. And so it was funny because before TikTok, it was actually called Musical.ly. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to do like the whole Fortnite thing. And that was the big craze, like almost 3 years ago now. And I was like, let me try to like find a different platform besides like YouTube or Instagram. And so I started uploading on Musical.ly, and it was just like, because nobody really was using it. Everybody was just dancing. And
do you have any dance video? Let's pause there. Any fun dance videos?
No, you will never see me do a dance video. I would raise money for a foundation to do like a crazy montage dance video for people. That would be something we could do. Me personally sitting here just dancing, that's probably never gonna happen. So once they switched over, I started getting into Pokemon again. I actually came back around like Hidden Fate area, and I started doing like YouTube as well. And I wanted to do Pokemon. It's funny because before I started like really doing stuff, like with TikTok, if you go back and just YouTube, Giving Bulbasaur, a lot of my tournaments came up. I was doing tournaments for people on the online game, and I was giving out code cards and stuff. It was very hard, and I'm not very tech savvy, so it was just like, whatever. I gave up on it. And then I came back with Sword and Shield is when I came back, which is like the weirdest set to come back to because there's not a lot of chase cards. And then, which was funny because before I came back to Sword and Shield, I actually pulled a Hidden Fates Charizard from Hidden Fates, and I sold it for $50 at the time.
Up on that one after what's happened these last 3 years with Hidden Fates. That
was a big mess up. But it was just because I was like, I pulled the chase card. It was worth like $50 at the time. I thought, hey, if I sell it for $50, I can buy for more packs and I can open more packs, maybe get some more cards and start selling that way. So it was just, I was having a lot of fun at the time. And then to kind of speed everything up really quick, I started doing TikTok again. But I was like, well, I'm more, money savvy. I was doing stocks and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, if I want to do this, like, is there a way to do it without wasting money? And that's when I got into the whole, okay, well, I'm not going to open packs because, it's just like gambling with me. So like, let me buy raw. And then I started buying raw, selling raw. And then I was like, wait, what's grading? Like, I didn't know the concept of that. Then I got into grading, and that's kind of like this whole last year. I took my stimulus check from the government. It was $1,500. And I just kept flipping it overs and overs and overs. And my portfolio right now, if I was to sell everything, is probably around $60,000. And I have yet to put more money into it. So that's just kind of the rundown of how I got back into it. Was just honestly I was flipping cards and stuff because I wanted to save up money to buy a house and flip houses. And then it ended up to be Pokemon cards. And now I'm flipping Pokemon cards, and now I'm collecting. I wasn't even planning on collecting. Now I'm actually collecting. They got me. So yeah, that's how that kind of short story of how all that happened to today.
Well, you're speaking to the right people, because we love the hustle. We love the put in a little bit of cash, kind of play money, and turn it into something fun. That's what we've done. That's what we're doing. Like you said, we have a very similar goal, that reaching that $1 million mark. One, just for the story, that's like, how cool is that if we were able to get to, how many people can say they have a $1 million worth of Pokemon cards over the course of, their lifetime, much less
Matt,
not a lot,
like part of their business.
But it sounds silly though. You're selling these shiny pieces of cardboard, and if you can do crazy numbers, like that's where I think it gets really fun. Like that's the story behind it, which is kind of where I've always come in. Is just like telling this story. Like you can always then build that following the same way. Like, and as someone who like I have another TikTok account, like we have the Pokemon stuff. But one thing that actually got me super intrigued by what you were doing is I saw one of your old YouTube videos where you said, "Hey, I'm going to trade this Psyduck from Fossil and see if I can get Charizard." And I don't know if you're aware of my other TikTok account, but it's Big or Better. And it's like trading small items up into like bigger things, cars, motorcycles, that type of thing. So I'd love an update of there of like, have you been able to trade any of that stuff?
I did, and I got actually you're not the only one to ask. Like I've been needing to do it. I actually stopped because it was just, at this point I'm just like, since it's so big right now, it's really hard to do trades because my thing is like, if you're gonna trade with me and I don't know you, you have to send your trade in first before I send my trade to you.
That's a hard thing.
So I will say, from that Psyduck that was like, I think it was like 40 cents at the time, like it's a 40-cent Psyduck, I've got up to a gold card Zemasu and a quick ball gold card. So I went from 40 cents to about 60, 70 bucks on cards. So it was actually pretty cool. And it's only because, people are just nice and they just want to trade me, which was awesome. I do want to continue doing it because that is my like chase card, is the Delta Species Charizard. There are other cards that I would love, but that's the thing for that. And the only reason I started doing that was kind of like you said, your YouTube is kind of like flipping small stuff to bigger stuff, is I saw the guys that were doing the paperclip all the way to like a house, and I was just like, that is so crazy. I was like, I wonder if I could do it with Pokemon cards, which you can. And so with TikTok, it's gotten bigger than I thought it was gonna be. Our Discord is like 500 strong.
Mm-hmm.
We're raising money for foundations. We have all these different things going on. We have my friend Shoot, started a new Discord with other stuff that we're doing, and it's just kind of hard to juggle things. And so that was like one that I really wanted to do, but it's just like on the back end right now. So we will try to bring that up because I still have the cards and I'm not selling them or keeping them for myself. I really, thanking people for those trades, and I want to get higher. So we'll see what happens. If you guys want to trade me, you're more than welcome to.
We got to make a deal after this.
We got a lot of cards, dude. We got so many cards we can go after here.
That recent submission will get you something fun, I think.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But fascinating. I love that it all started with this government, like the stimulus coming, and I mean we're pretty savvy to that. I put my stimulus money in Bitcoin back in April.
Oh yeah,
so, like it's done pretty well.
I bet it is.
How that's like ran. So like that really rings home to me. That whole just trying to run and not throw more money at it, and it just like take your hustle to like run with it. I love that. Yeah. So I'd love to, like, your name's Giving Bulbasaur, but I want to hear the favorite Pokemon. I mean, if you said that's not even your favorite Pokemon, I want your favorite Pokemon.
I honestly, because I've been asked this so many times, and I have a list. I have a top 10, of course. But I really want to narrow it down to be like, hey, this is my favorite Pokemon. And it's really hard for me. I would have to say, of course, Bulbasaur is going to be on there because he really is one of my favorite Pokemon. It's not, if you had to like really sit there and somebody said, hey, I can make you a Pokemon today, which one would you want? It would have to be between Greninja, because I'm a big Naruto fan. Awesome. Rayquaza, because it's just an awesome Pokemon. And then Gengar. because he's like my favorite
classic.
type. Yeah, and I'm Gen 1, so
Very-
if I had to, those are like the top four. And honestly, I would think I would probably pick Rayquaza. I think he's like one of my favorite Pokemon. But like I said, it's very hard. Like I think everybody I appreciate people are like, oh no, this is my favorite Pokemon. I'm like, how do you do that? Like that's just so hard to do.
Oh, I totally understand. I mean, people have asked me, what is your favorite Pokemon? And I'm like, I don't know, but I could, but like, I can tell you what cards I like. Cause like there's this with the artworks and like how it works with Pokemon and cards. Or like the story or nostalgia behind a particular card. It's much easier for me to go on that front. But when somebody just asks like, hey, what Pokemon, in general, it's like, man, there's so many different, there's so many different answers to that. Are you talking about the Game Boy game I played as a kid? Are you talking about my favorite card that I opened out of a pack? Are you talking about the one from the anime that I watched as a kid? They kind of that story changes depending on what we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very hard one, but I picked Bulbasaur because like it's a starter Pokemon. It's my Gen 1 Pokemon, first one I started with, so that's why I ended up picking him for like kind of my mascot for the whole thing that I'm doing. So if I was like I said, to pick one, it would be between those five. It'd be very hard to pick though. But I think I probably would pick the Bulbasaur just because I think it would be really cool having him walk around with me, and like I said, if it's my brand and having him with me would be really cool. I don't think I would ever evolve him though. I wouldn't evolve him all the way to the Venusaur. I would keep him as a Bulbasaur. That's my thing.
A Bulbasaur that knows Solar Beam, huh? Just all the way.
That'd be cool. Can you kind of like a whole Pikachu, like a whole Pikachu thing that's just like it's so powerful being just still a Pikachu. Like it'll be the strongest Bulbasaur that ever lived.
I like that. I like that a lot. I can tell you my favorite though. Like I'm just a Larvitar fan for some reason. Larvitar
really
has always been my favorite Pokemon. But so it's fun to hear when other people are saying like your top tens, and I mean it obviously does change. I mean anything after is a big difference.
Yeah, I remember when we first met, Matt, and like we talked about Pokemon, and you said you showed me that Larvitar card, and you're like, this one's my favorite card ever, and I'm like looking at it. This is a common card from a common Pokemon.
It's hilarious.
I was like, what in the world? All right, more power to you, I guess.
I mean, when you're 6, I mean, it's like the wand chooses the wizard. It's
that's actually pretty cool. That'd be a really cool thing. Yeah, it would be. I think a lot of people have some crazy favorite Pokemon out there. Like I know some people that like non-popular Pokemon, which is actually really cool. And I think those are like the ones that have stories behind it. Not to say the other ones are not important, but like it's really weird when somebody says, "Hey, Weedle's my favorite Pokemon." What? Why? And then they give you a really cool story how like the first card they got or the first Pokemon they caught after this, and then they give you the whole cool story background. So I think it's pretty cool when everybody has their own favorite Pokemon. It's just really hard to pick because you get a lot of stories behind them. Like Gengar was just like the coolest thing when I was growing up, like being all mysterious and ghost type, like really as a kid, it's kind of dark and it's just like wow, that's really cool. And then you have like a Gyarados, which like one of my main chase cards is the Gyarados from Sky Ridge, which is a really cool art, and I've been chasing that one for a while, and hopefully this year or next year I'll be able to grab it because right now I'm actually liquidating a lot of cards, and I'm actually gonna start buying big chase cards that I've been wanting to buy, but I had to like wait and build up capital for it.
Man, it's so funny listening to this because like we go through the same cycle, like we just actually liquidated a part of our collection, and we thought, you know what? It's time for us to get base set, first edition, Shadowless, the original. It's time. And so just like over the course of a week, we just went out and bought an entire PSA 5 set.
Oh, wow.
From all 16 holos.
But even then, like it hurts. Like when you're paying, like when you go back to like 2013, 2010, and I'd always check eBay. I'd always ask my mom for Christmas, Mom, just give me a first edition Charizard. And I'm just like, why don't you just give me one? And she's like, it's like $300. I'm like, why didn't I buy a bunch of them back then? And then we ended up, it's so funny how much we spent on a silly Charizard.
Oh, wow. And it's a 5?
Yeah. So we got 5 of all the holos, which is kind of fun. So yeah, I'd love to hear a few more of like chase cards or like trophies of a collection that you'd want to own or do own.
So if I had to tell you the chase cards of collection that I really want, it's gonna have to be all the Pikachu promos of like they have them like, so I have the Luigi and Mario Pikachu.
Awesome.
Those are my favorite cards that I have in my collection right now. And I'm actually thinking about selling them to build capital to get some more raw cards. And so like I want the Pikachu, you know, wearing the costume as, you know, Charizard and Gyarados and all these other ones, and then even the little ones. So even though Pikachu is not my favorite Pokemon, those are my favorite cards. I love when they cross platform and like that. And then of course all the 4 Mario Pikachus, the 2 I have, but I would, like I said, if I'm thinking about selling them, because right now I can get pretty good premium for them depending on what the grade is. And then also getting the other Mario and Luigi Pikachus that are like full arts too. So those are my chase cards. And then anything from Skyridge and yeah, mostly Skyridge, it would probably be like the cards that I want, hollows.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah.
Especially, we were actually talking, we met with someone, we're about to sign a deal for a consignment deal for a lady. And it's just this insane thing. She has 2 complete sets or complete boxes of Skyridge.
Oh, wow.
They're open, but like that's a set I've never even seen in person. So we're like sitting down at this restaurant that they own, and she pulls out just boxes and boxes of Pokemon cards, and I just see this Skyridge box, which has become
100 sealed Skyridge packs.
Oh my god.
And it's just like, I'm just like this kid in a candy store, and we're trying to do business. I'm like, I just want to look at them. Like, I just want to see how this stuff.
That's crazy. They're very expensive packs and boxes. I think last time I checked, I think packs alone are going for like $2,000 or something like that. I don't know if they've gone up or down.
But that's like the funny thing is like, that's a big piece of like the Pokemon world is for some reason, there are just some random giant collections. Like, and if you can find some way to source them, like, I feel like that's one of the hardest parts of the game is as it gets more popular, more people are like thinking about it. More people have like seen Logan Paul open in a box, and like, I feel like the deals are harder to come by.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's really hard to find deals, and this is why like I buy a lot of like raw cards because, you know, I take the risk. Like to be honest, like before even the hype, what the hype was like maybe October. I think like in August, I was buying up Shining Legends shinies and Hidden Fates shinies. Like that's pretty much everything I'm sending to my PSA. And I kid you not, I was literally buying them for $5 to $10 each. I was buying them in lots of like 20 to 50 cards for like $200. And they're, you know, Mewtwo's, they're all the baby shinies, everything. And right now you have to do your numbers. If you don't, if you do it on like a value wise, you're gonna come out losing. You know, people right now are really like, okay, what's my card worth? And instead of like, oh, I need some cash, you want to give me $50? And you're like, yeah, I'll give you $50. But like for example, I had bought a base set Charizard from somebody, and I think I paid $20 for it just before the whole Logan Paul thing. And you know, now it's like $300, $400, $500. It wasn't a first edition or anything, but still. But you can't do that no more. You really can't. You can, but it's gonna be very hard.
No, it's really, it kills us because I don't know if you've followed, you know, our story a little bit, but Matt and I got together a couple of years ago. We work at the same company, and that's how we got to know each other. And this whole Pokemon journey started with a collection from myself and my dad. You know, we held on to stuff for 20 years, and then Matt came and we looked at it, and we were just shocked at how much stuff we had there. And it's like, hey, let's get going again. And that was a couple of years ago. And, you know, we were excited back then when a couple of our cards were like, man, this card's $50. And now, you know, we just got 189 cards back from BGS from that collection. And I don't think one of them is worth $50. I think they're all over $100, you know, and it's kind of crazy to see how far it's come in such a short amount of time, but it also makes us wish we would have just bought in a little earlier. Our money could have gone so much further.
There was a guy I met from OfferUp. I bought 6,000 Japanese cards from him from from the like base set all the way to 2017. I paid $300 for it. He had, let's see, I want to say like he had somewhere between. I still have a lot of them. I like some like little pieces here and there on the commons and stuff. But like he had like, I want to say like 50 to like 70 hollows in there. And there was a Dark Charizard, there's a Dark Blastoise, like all these crazy cards, and like $300. Like that's nothing. And so like I have like 200 cards at PSA right now that I went through graded gems. Shouldn't have done that, but I did. It was like when I first got back into, you know, cards and trying to grade. But they're over there, and I'm excited because honestly, the value of those cards have gone up tremendously, and I have no idea what grades I'm going to get right now, but for sure, well worth what I paid for them, for sure.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and that's the funny thing is like basically anywhere you would have stuck your money, you bought any card, whatever, a year ago, 2 years ago, even 6 months ago. It's just it's pretty wild. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you think. Let's fast forward 6 months, and then like, what do you think the market looks like 6 months from now, and then 5 years from now?
So I have theories, and I have friends, like we talk a lot too. So it can go a lot of different ways. And like I said, I tell everybody, like, I am not an expert whatsoever. These are just my theories. Like I said, I've done sales while my life. I've done marketing. I've done stocks and stuff. So I'm just doing based on what I know. I wasn't in the Pokemon game, over like a year ago. I wasn't in it, so honestly don't know. But I see Pokemon, like, to me, is as a stock, just like a company. I feel like it's a big company, like kind of like Apple. Like, it's going to go up, have its dips here and there, but overall it's going to go up over time. A lot of people talk about, well, when the bubble is going to happen. Well, I don't think it's going to be 6 months from now. I honestly feel like a portion of it is going to be maybe a year from now, when PSA is actually catching up, and then you see a bunch of these PSA cards or Beckett cards, or you're going to see a lot of CGC cards right now because they're so fast on the market. And then what's going to happen is like, hey, I got this Charizard or whatever, and I have it for this price. Well, this guy over here and the other people over there have their Charizards back, and they're like, wait, I have it for that price. Well, nobody's buying because it's a really high price right now. And then one guy decides to say, hey, I'll do it for a little bit less. Well, you know what? Well, I'll do it for less. And then it's going to keep going down and going down. And next thing you know, we're, pretty low on the high price. And that's probably not going to be like a crash. It's going to be a correction more per se. Because right now, I think cards are inflated to an extent because it's not as bad as it can get. Median has to be upgraded. Okay, sorry, I saw like a little pop up on the thing.
Just click okay.
Okay, cool. Cards Pokemon can get a lot worse. You can think about like sports cards. They're the same but not the same. With sports cards, you have the individual person that is a real person that can be doing better or do worse. That's why the cards, value and price. But for us, Charizard is our LeBron James. Charizard's not going to tear an ACL. He always going to go up in price. But I think most of all, it's us as the consumers and the collectors that really dictate the market. Me being a person that's patient, and this guy that's not, saying, you know what, I'll pay over what that card is worth right now just because I want that card before somebody else gets it. The impatience of people is what's fluctuating the prices right now. And that's really sucks, because then what's happening is the collectors going to be pushed aside. The collectors that have money can get their stuff, but the people that are not high dollar collectors, they're really not getting stuff right now. And what they're doing is probably moving to a different hobby. Like me, I'm going and getting Dragon Ball Z cards. I've never opened Dragon Ball Z cards. I'm having a blast. I'm getting Yu-Gi-Oh cards again because I loved Yu-Gi-Oh as a child. And now I'm ordering, the max gold boxes and opening and pulling me a Blue Eyes and a Dark Magician. I'm having fun. And if we keep going this way with the inflated prices, people are going to go find something else to do, or they're just going to wait for the market to come down. And 5 years from now, I see prices still being high because, like I say, we're going to have a small correction, but doesn't mean with the new sets every time they're printed out, people are going to still be going up and up and up. So it's really hard to say. I will say overall, get into Pokemon now while you can. Raw, don't buy too much graded stuff unless it's a really good chase card. The reason being is because the price will come down eventually, But
yeah, I think you're right, man. I totally agree. I think where we're seeing the hardest hit portion of the Pokemon industry too is these newer cards. These modern sets are just, we can't find them anywhere. We've had plans of getting some sets and opening them, and that was kind of how our TikTok started. Was like, hey, let's open some packs, but then actually we can't find any. The scalpers just taking everything, and so our expertise definitely lies in the vintage stuff. And, we've taken that approach that you've talked about of like raw cards, grade them, keep the ones we want, flip the others for some capital so that we can actually get some chase cards. Because trying to open them yourself right now is a pain.
Yeah, if it was MSRC prices, like getting the ETB for $50 instead of $150, like go for it. Have some fun. It's $50. And most likely the promo card right off the back is probably gradable and sellable to get your money back. But right now, paying $150 is just it's ridiculous. And I don't, like I always get a lot of backlash on TikTok when I tell them, hey guys, don't buy the new sets. Like skip a set, and they're like, no, we can't skip a set. And I'm just like, all right, then this message is probably not for you. Thank you for, doing you. And I tell everybody, you do you. And when I say something on TikTok, it's my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with me. If you are really wanting to go buy a scalper price, you're going to go buy a scalper. I'm not going to be able to stop you. But if I can go out there and say, hey, don't do this, and maybe somebody might answer and save them some money, because like I think right now you see a little bit of dips in the price right now because they're printing more and their prices are dipping. So now people are getting a little bit cheaper than what it was when it first came out on the first wave. I'm just trying to save people money overall when I talk about opening new products.
Well, and I think that's one thing, even in the vintage world, like a lot of people don't realize, like there are so many cards out there, like even raw, like, and you just have to go find them. Like everyone has a binder collection. There are so many in the WotC era that, I mean, we've even just post on Facebook and say, I'm looking for Pokemon cards, and your friends will come out of the woodwork and say, I've got my collection. I got my collection. And like most people kept them in really good shape, especially outside of the base set, like, cause everyone played with them. Like you were whatever, 5, 10 playing with them. But once you start getting into the Neo sets, like a lot of those cards are still pristine because they're really like, they understood, hey, these are probably going to be valuable, or like I care about them. They've grown up a little bit. And so it's actually fascinating to see. We bought a pretty decent collection. It was like 28 binders of,
oh wow,
basically
nice.
It was almost complete sets from base set to Skyridge. And it was funny to see, like the base set trash, like they were just terrible. But then like Fossil was a little bit worse, or a little bit better. And then like, as you could tell, this kid had grown up.
Yeah.
And now he's 35. And once you get to like the EX or the Delta series and whatever,
like really nice,
perfect.
That's cool.
It, which is kind of a funny thing that we've seen with a couple of collections we've bought. But I don't know, it's fascinating to see. Like it's cool to hear what you like, your take, and especially coming from a different world, or the investment world of like stocks, to see that different perspective. Because a lot of people, I think, especially with like the GameStop and AMC and all that, like crypto, like people are just like trying to just throw money anywhere. So it's cool to see like a calmer take, instead of anywhere you put your money, you're going to make money.
Yeah.
I love that take.
Well, like, and that's the thing with me. Like when I talk about Pokemon, I talk about it on a monetary value. I see a card. Okay, it's worth $40. Great. Do I want that card in my collection? Most likely not. But if I can take that card and flip it and sell it and get some money back with a little bit of profits, then I can go buy a card that I want. Now, if you're a collector and you're only a collector, there's some people out there that don't care what they're worth. Then go do what you want to do. Have fun, do your own thing. But when I give advice, it's as a collector with the mindset of like, how can I maximize the value to get what I really want? So I'm actually gonna be putting out some more TikToks from the collector standpoint, because people are like, well, I just want to collect. Well, that's fine, go ahead and collect. But I'm trying to save the collectors money, and some collectors just don't care about saving money. They just want to buy stuff. And that's why they buy scalper prices. That's why scalpers will always be here to the end of time, unless we as a community decide to say, hey, enough's enough. And that's really going to be where, not only with PSA dumping more cards into the market when everybody gets them back, but when is it going to be like these boxes are just way too much and people are just like, I'm tired of paying this much for this. That's really going to be where the correction is going to be. It's just we don't know when that's going to happen. Those are the only real things that I can see with Pokemon getting a correction, because like I said, Charizard or any other Pokemon are not going to go out in public and say a bad word. They're not going to tear an ACL. They're not going to cheat on somebody. Like that's not something that's going to hurt them. And Pokemon being a big company as they are, they're doing marketing very well to be like, hey, this is the newest set, come get this. Kids are going to always want to chase, which is great. I want kids to always want to open cards, because that's how we're going to continue the hobby longer. I don't know how old you guys are. I'm 31, and now I have big boy money where I can pay, money for the cards I wanted as a child. If we don't let the kids in this generation be able to do that, when their big boy money comes around, they're not going to care. They're like, oh, I didn't open nothing. That has no value to me, not monetary, but like, sentimental value to me. So I'm not going to pay extra money just because I didn't have as a child. So that's the main thing, is we need to figure out how as a community we can fix it. You know, the other theory I have is that it's never going to get fixed, and we're going to enter a sports era where, like, you think you're complaining about a booster box for $200. Go find a sports box and pay, you know, $2,000 for a box. You know, that's where my two theories, either we're going to correct or we're not, and we're just going to bust through the ceiling and we're going to get super expensive to where Charizard is now over $1 million as a card.
Charizard's now my retirement account.
Exactly. So that's why, like I said, getting into the cards now is a good thing. You know, be very smart about it, because one or two things are going to happen. Either it's going to correct and, hey, you paid a little bit extra money for the card, but it's going to go up in value over time later on, or we're going to bust through the ceiling and that card you pay a little bit extra now is actually going to be worth even more, because now we're in a sports age where cards are just super expensive and your one card or couple of your collection is just crazy value right there. So, you know. But
well, it sounds like you're a bit of a dollar cost averaging Pokemon investor. And that's what I love to hear, because so am I. That's kind of what I've been known as in my, you know, financial circle is, you know, I just dollar cost average all day. When stuff goes down in price, I'm like, hey, that just means I can get more of it, you know, versus, you know, it would be great if it just kept going up forever and, you know, there was no ceiling. But when stuff goes down, that's when us as collectors can be like, okay, now we can accumulate again. Now we have some capital. Let's look at it and get some stuff we really want.
Yeah, for sure.
But and you mentioned your TikTok, and I've seen quite a few of those videos, but I was just curious, like, what's your like number one viewed, liked TikTok? Dude, what is it?
It's the stupidest stuff. I swear. I'm going to tell you right now, I am not a TikTok expert of any sort. Like, I do not understand TikTok. I don't. I actually have a friend named,
I don't think anyone understands it.
No, I really don't. And like my newer videos are like a little bit better because I have a friend, Unpack Gems. He has really crisp video quality. He helped me with a different app to like get better videos out. So I'm able to edit a little bit. Before it was just point and shoot. Post as much as I can, point and shoot, and go from there. But honestly, the biggest videos I've ever had, it's not the informational stuff. Like people, it's a very niche market. Like first on TikTok, you have to get rid of like, so people are dancing, doing their stuff and all surprises. Then you have to get down to like Pokemon as a whole. Like there's a pretty good size of people that care about Pokemon. But then you got to get down to people that care about educational stuff. And then you got to get down to people that care about educational stuff that cares about the money. That's where I'm at. It's a very small thing. So I'll get a couple, you know, maybe 3,000 to 4,000 depending on these newer videos. Before it was like 500. I honestly don't even care. This new year, I came into it like not looking at my views or anything. And I still don't. Like, I'm like, oh, cool, that's awesome. But last year, it actually took a big toll on me because I was like, I want to build my TikTok to do stuff. And I would get stressed out. Oh, why didn't this do good? And I would kind of go down on myself. But like honestly, to answer your question, it's the stupidest thing. So like last week when Pokemon did the Post Malone thing, my one video that just did the intro got like 40,000 views. There was a trend that me and my friends did where you like, hey, this is your card if you do this. This is your card if you do this. That got like 200,000 views, which was stupid. And that from that alone, I got like 10,000 followers. So do trends. I guess that's what works. Because like I said, on like without those, like I probably still be like around 10,000 to be honest. So it is what it is.
It's funny what blows up though. Like that's the most fascinating thing. Like a lot of times, like on our videos, we just do like it's mail day. Here's what we're doing. It's just like super
people like those.
Like I haven't been creative. Like we haven't like really tried to push it. It's just hey, let's just post some videos and see what happens. I'm actually trying to figure out which one our best is because.
Oh, like I know which one it is. I know which one it is. It's the item finder, dude. It's the item finder. This was like we started seeing the prices go up, right? And we have a huge collection, but none of it is first edition base. We have almost everything else. We have every base set card. We've got every jungle, fossil, all the way up through all the Neo sets. We have almost every single card in our collection, but we don't have first edition base, and the prices are skyrocketing. And so we're like, hey, we got to start buying stuff. And so we bought an item finder trainer online, really? PSA 9. Okay. That's our number one video. It's us opening a package and it's like, look at this. It's a trainer. And yeah, It's not even remotely close. That's our number one video.
With TikTok, I've noticed like people, so like opening packs is kind of overrated, but if you can do it a different way that people don't understand, like there's these guys, I can't quite remember their name, but one guy's in a car and the other guy's running from like Target or something, and he jumps into his car and opens. Those guys blew up like crazy. It's ridiculous, and people, they get thousands of views. You know, being creative with stuff, because like with Pokemon, what is there to do? Hey, I'm gonna open a pack. Hey, these are my cards. I'm submitting. Like with me, I don't open packs, and I'm probably the only thing I've opened like recently is probably like I said, Dragon Ball Z or Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm gonna start opening packs a little bit more, but packs that I'm like search for, like new stuff is not really my thing. I honestly, I don't really like a lot of the art, and a lot of the Pokemon cards that I collect is mainly because of the art. There is monetary value because a lot of the cards that have crazy good art are worth a lot. So that's really what I'm chasing. I'm chasing a very artsy collection. So when people are like, hey, what's your biggest video? Like, I don't really have any, because like I'm not opening packs. I'm not pulling crazy cards for that expense that people like, you know. So it's really hard. Like I said, my niche is like this, you know. A lot of people have a lot of different ways, and I just started doing like funnier videos. And I told myself when I first got on TikTok, I'm like, I'm not gonna be that guy. I'm not gonna be that guy. But then this year, when I want to have more fun, I started doing fun videos. I started getting a little bit more views, but I started having more fun with it. And I was like, man, this feels good. Like, this is awesome. Like making people laugh. So I was like, I'm gonna start doing more of those. But
I've seen a couple good stitches. I've seen them
here and there. But there's, like I said, there's way more people out there. I have some friends that just like, they're funny, they're awesome, they have great content. I'm just that guy in the back being like, hey, I'm here.
But even then though, like I feel like in this niche, like you're one of the biggest accounts for sure in the Pokemon like education niche. At least from the money side.
That's what everybody. That's
you're
what
almost 30K, right? 30K followers.
We're about to hit 27. I think I'm like maybe 50 away. I'm like, yes. And so some cool stuff is happening. Like I'm like some sponsors are starting to reach out a little bit here and there, and so we're working stuff out. I'm like I literally thought I would, honestly, when I got into TikTok, it was like to raise money, have some fun, and also make money so I can build a collection. I started by, honestly, the way I started was when I started doing Pokemon is I used to make the metal cards. You probably see them on eBay. People have metal cards, but I did it where I actually had metal cards created that weren't being sold. So like I have a first edition Dragonite, I have a Green Ranger, I have things that people weren't making. Because like you can go to, I think like AliExpress and buy the metal cards for like $2 or $3, and then they ship them to you, and then people are selling them for like $15. I was like, I can buy some of those, but I want to buy my own. So I started doing that. So I was making, different cards. And what I did is I reached out to every big content creator that was in Pokemon, and I sent them free packages. So that was like my marketing strategy. And so people are like opening my cards and like, hey, Giving Bulbasaur sent me this. You should go check them out. And that's honestly how I got started. And so I made some really good friends over time, and it's been really cool.
Well, you're a smart dude. Yeah. I mean, that's,
and I
people love getting stuff. You're right. Giving Bulbasaur, dude. They living up to your name.
Yeah. So it was, like I said, it was an authentic thing. Like I do like to give, but the same thing, it is marketing, like I said, I've been in sales for a long time. So like people love getting free stuff, opening free stuff. So at the time it was like, there wasn't a lot of like Pokemon creators. Now there's quite a bit of them out there. And like, it's really hard to like, especially getting past the 10,000 mark is really hard, which is like why I do like the shout outs now, because like I said, I don't think I'm big, but at least maybe I can get some eyes. And I've been fortunate enough to meet some really cool people in the community that have some crazy content. But like, for example, there's a guy named Bugcatcher. He has like over 180,000 followers. He just got sponsored by Pokemon. Before I met him through our friend Manny Simone, I never saw his content. I didn't even know he existed, because the For You page is very selective. Like there's some content creators probably out there right now that I have never seen. And it sucks because people have some great content, but you would never see them. It's really hard. It's really weird. So I think a lot of us, community, like doing stuff like this and, meeting each other and sharing each other's stuff is really beneficial, because like a lot of us have some really good content and we're just never able to be seen by people. And what happens is like, TikTok pushes you out to a couple people, and if let's say they're not really your niche, then they just pass you along, and then you put that hard work into that video and you're never seen by actual people that would actually appreciate what you put out there, which sucks.
It's crazy, especially and TikTok's so different because if you have a video that does well, like it can do well for weeks. It's not the one day. It's not like an Instagram post. You've got a few hours of having it. You have one video, like you could be getting weeks and weeks of people still coming from that one video.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating.
I think the video that I did, like I was doing like, hey, this is your card. Like I said, it hit like 200,000 views, I think. And I was getting followers every day from that video for like you said, like about a week or two. And it just kept going up in the views. I was like, hasn't this stopped yet? And, you know, it was an audio, like people know we weren't going to give them well, some people, because some people are like, hey, where's my card? I was like, you know, that was an audio, right? And they're like still following and still following. But I like things like that because that gives the people that comes to your page a chance to see your other stuff and what you're really about. And hey, if they leave, they leave. But if they like you, they like you, you know? So I just think there's a better way to do it, but we'll see what happens.
I love that. I love that so much.
Well, yeah, we've chatted about a lot of stuff. We talked about your favorite Pokemon and everything. We've talked about a lot of different cards, and you told us that you pulled a Hidden Fates Charizard back in the day before it was cool, long before it was the crazy prices that it is now. But is that your favorite card you've ever pulled, or what is like your top booster pack pull? Right now, this is part of that gambling phase. This is that booster pack. Freedom. What was your favorite card you ever pulled?
Wow, that's hard because, like I said, like when I say I don't open packs, like I really didn't open packs. Hidden Fates and Shining Legends was probably like my favorite packs to open, and even at that, Shining Legends I didn't open a lot. I talked about this on the podcast. Like when I was a kid, I didn't open a lot of packs either. A lot of friends gave me cards, and I'll open like maybe 1 or 2 packs every once in a while. The best card I've ever pulled is probably going to be that Shining Legend. I've never pulled a Charizard ever since then. And honestly, if we're talking about just packs in general, I pulled a Dragon. Can I do Dragon Ball Z? Because like,
oh yeah,
100%.
I pulled a Goku. I pulled a Goku that like has Vegeta and Goku in the back, and that's literally like my favorite card that I have here. I'm never gonna sell it. It's not worth like a crazy amount of money, but like that's probably my favorite card. And then in Pokemon, it has to probably be the Charizard because, like I said, I need to start opening more Pokemon packs. I wish I was the person to open Pokemon packs because I do want to feel that gambling sensation of like, wow, I pulled this card. Champion's Path was the first like newer set that I opened. And I pulled garbage. Out of 3 ETBs, I pulled like a rainbow it's a rainbow card. It was I don't even know his name. He's like a huge like block guy that has like volcano coming out of him, and I was so disappointed.
Colossal?
Yes. So mad. Oh my god. And this is why I don't open cards. Like this is why I don't like to go to Vegas and stuff to gamble, because knowing me, in my head I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna do something really cool, and then I'm walking out in my underwear because I lost all my money or something. So I feel the same way in Pokemon cards. So it's not hard for me to say, nah, I don't want to open packs, but that's just me though.
But I think it's hard. Like that's the chase. I mean, there was one time, and we've only done it like the one time. I walked into Target by my house, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like they just restocked, and like there were like 60, 70 double boxes, and I just called Matt. I'm like, I'm buying like 30 of these. Like,
yeah, he called me up. He's like, dude, are you okay if I buy these? And I'm like, yeah, let's open them live on TikTok for all 7 people that want to watch us. And we did it. And
anything good?
But we pulled the shiny V Charizard, and it paid for everything. So we're like so lucky. And I was like, that's the first time I've ever pulled a Charizard. And I was like, there is no greater feeling like ever.
It kind of sucks because we were on TikTok live. Like we didn't really expect to pull anything, We'd never done a live video before. And if the people were there, if people are watching this, like they'll know, like we freaked, we're high-fiving each other.
I would too, trust me.
Yeah, we had a blast, and it totally brought back that sensation of opening packs as a kid. And even though like we're not super attached to some of those newer sets, I don't have much to say about Champion's Path. We actually just finished the set. We have every card from Champion's Path that we opened ourselves. Mm-hmm. But it was still a lot of fun, and we got so hyped over it.
Yeah. So when it comes to like modern sense, the only ones like you would ever see me open, like for sure, like without a doubt, it's gonna be Shining Legends and Hidden Fates. Like a friend of mine, Pokemon GPA, was at a store and he messed because we have like a private Discord between me and like 7 other creators. And he's like, "Hey, does anybody want any of these Hidden Fate ETBs?" And we were like, "Oh my god!" We're all fighting over it. Like I'm like sending him money through like Cash App and stuff. And so I was like, "Oh, I'm probably just gonna leave them closed and have them back here for like display." I opened them the same night, both of them, and I just like that. Those are really the only sets like that give me the like, hey, I need to open these, like that fun feeling. So, other than that, it'd be really hard for me to get like excited about a set. Like it has to be something really cool. And honestly, I think Hidden Fates is only like that because, like I said, when I got back into the hobby, Hidden Fates was the first one, and the other one would be Generations. I love Generations, that one too, but I haven't opened a lot of that since like it came out. So those would probably be the only 3. My 3 top sets are those. It would be Shining Legends, Hidden Fates, and then Generations would be my favorite sets to open.
I love it.
That's
so
awesome, man.
But that, I mean, I feel the same way. Like I listened to your podcast about sealed product. Do I collect sealed product? And like, I am in the same camp as you. Like I can't keep it at my house. Like I don't have any Pokemon cards in my house. It's all in an undisclosed location because like I'll open the pack. Like we've got base set packs, and I'm like, as the second I traded for him, I was like, we should just open one. Like maybe we should
dude.
open
When
one.
you came to me with that, and you're like, I was like, oh, slow down. Slow down.
I got to my house for 4 days.
He's literally wanting to drive to your house and open that stuff like right now. You know what you should do is grade him, and so he can't open them.
Yeah. But I seriously like I'm such a gambler, and like I love that, but like I have to I'm like a day trader at heart, so like learning the patient side of it, it's just like I had him at my house for 4 days. I'm shocked that they made it through the 4 days. Like
I'm pretty sure you know this guy. It's a guy named Pokeju on TikTok. That guy's crazy. Like he'll sit there, open a box of Sky Ridge, and just like, let me open these packs. And I'm just like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like, oh, that guy's so cool. But like, I'm the same way. Like, if I like right now, hold on. The only sealed product I have here is the Shining Fates, but that's for the giveaway for the foundation that I'm gonna pick a winner on Saturday. And the only other thing that I have probably closed is gonna be this Ninja Turtle box that I found. But I'm not opening it just because I can't find another one. I don't know if it's gonna be super expensive, but like that's really the only thing I have, and I have no packs sitting here. It's all just bulk and cards to send to get graded.
I love it. And that's such a fun part of it is like when you play on like the raw and the graded side, like you can admire everything about it. Like, but that's the funnest part about getting cards back is just when you can actually see it in the case, even when you saw it raw, like there's nothing better than just like when it's actually encapsulated in the grading case. I love that. Yeah,
for sure. I like it just like I said, I'm like I said, on the collector standpoint, I love the art. The art is really what gets me. Like the Rayquaza, like I have these. I'm sending like I'm having the Shining Lugias. Like the Shining cards are like my favorite cards. Now it's funny because the Shining cards from Shining Fates, new ones, I don't like any of them. I really don't. But I love like the Lugia, the Ho-Oh, and the cards like that. And I think they look really cool. And so I'm sending them to get graded, and that's why I'm getting this ready. Like I didn't have a display before, so that's why I'm getting this ready because I want to display all the cards. But I think they look really cool, as well as I would probably be the person that if they were not in a safe space, I would probably spill something on them or drop them and roll my chair over them or something. So I'm also freaking out because now these cards are kind of high dollar cards. You know, Lugia alone is like $100 right now. And if I was to like tear it or do something to it, I would be pissed at myself. So I need to get them in a case.
I love it. I love that. Well, I mean, we've been on for about an hour now. So, I mean, I'd love to hear, like, kind of as we wrap this up, like, where can people find you? What are some of the things coming up in the next couple of months? What can people kind of expect from you?
So I'm quitting everything. No, so TikTok, of course, is like my main thing. It's Giving Bulbasaur. So that's gonna be there. I do have an Instagram and stuff like that, but that's pretty much just like to redo stuff. I'm working, like I said, with technology. I'm stupid, so I'm trying to work on something simpler, which is going to be my podcast. Like I said, I've been fortunate enough to connect with a lot of really good people from the community. And I am getting the chance to interview them and have them back. So like you see, like I Am Risen, Titanic, Whelms, Pokemon GPA, Manny Simone's, all these other people. They're very kind. They're very nice. The Pokemon community is awesome. Like once you get to know people, like the right people, because there's some people that are a little crazy. When you get to know the right people, like they really would do anything for you guys if you just ask them nicely. So we're gonna be doing a lot of the podcasts. So that would be how would you look for that? Oh, it's a 4-Starters podcast. You can look for it on Anchor. It's also on like Spotify and other stuff too. To look up forward to is our main goal for like my TikTok, other than content purposes, is going to be the foundations that we do. So we're doing different foundations. So we did Make-A-Wish in January. February was St. Jude's. This month is probably going to be some sort of mental health awareness. So every month we're trying to do one foundation, if not every other month. So and then usually with those, we give away some pretty high-end cards. Like somebody this Saturday is going to win a shiny Mew PSA 9. It's worth $200, and they probably paid $10 for it. So that's pretty crazy, as well as the ETB from Shiny Fates. So we'll be doing big stuff like that. And the more cards I get back from grading, those are going to be some crazy cards for the giveaway. So if I was going to plug anything, is going to be the foundations, guys. That's what you want to do. If you want to join our Discord, you can join our Discord. We can help you with like some investment. The main goal for me is when you come to my Discord, we'll teach you the tricks and the tools to help you guys learn on the investment side. So that way you can be self-sufficient. That's really the end goal for that, as well as we do have a PSA and CGC middleman service through that. And then other than that, we're just here to have fun, share your collection, let us know what you're doing. We'll let you know what we're doing too. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for joining the show. And we're looking forward to everyone who's listening here. Be sure to check out all their giveaways and what they're doing this month. I think that's a really awesome cause. But we'll wrap it up.
We'll have to see what kind of trade we can come up with.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be great.
Let's see what we can do for you.
I'll take your Charizard first edition. No.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, hey, event's over. Side up to Charizard, done.
Oh wow, that'd be crazy.
I
appreciate y'all having me, guys.
Yeah, I love that. And thank you everyone else who was listening. And this wraps up our first interview on the Base Set Bandits podcast. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.